Welcome back to Mosaic. We're talking with Judge John Noonan of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, former Bolt Hall law professor, about his new book by the University of Notre Dame Press, A Church That Can and Cannot Change. We've outlined that you take 4 examples over the centuries of how the church has responded, not so much changed by blueprint as or from high and low, but kind of moving along, and that there is change and movement. The 4th area of your book, sir,
is religious freedom. That has had a long and not always happy history in the church, because for the first 3 centuries the church was a persecuted religion, and certainly Jesus and his followers had no force to force people to become Christians. But then in the 4th century it was established by the Roman emperors, and the key theologian, St. Augustine, came out in favor of coercing the heretics. The church never thought that it was right to go out and coerce everybody, just the heretics, but that was bad enough. And that continued to be the standard position from about the end of the 4th century into the 20th century, never officially abandoned. I think the laity had abandoned it a long time ago, but this rather obnoxious doctrine that you could force the heretics back in continued to be quite a thorn in the side of any ecumenical discussions among Christians. And John Courtney Murray, an American Jesuit, took the lead in saying we ought to get rid of that. He was promptly silenced by Rome, but at the Second Vatican Council he was resurrected. He came to the council, he led the American bishops who did take the lead on this. As Murray says, it was the issue of the council, and the council triumphantly established that every person had a right to religious freedom, and that was the doctrine of the Catholic Church. And it was quite a repudiation of, say, 1,500 years of coercive tactics.
I think that's an exciting topic in that. Your eyes sort of light up when... Tell us, remind us more about that Second Vatican Council and why it was so important.
Well, that was, of course, called by John the 23rd. He wanted an updating of the church. He used that word, which was so loaded, that in favor of change. And his successor, Paul VI, carried on, and against intrepid opposition by people who couldn't conceive of change. I think the old guard, particularly in the Roman Curia, just thought it was beyond imagination, but they were wrong. And on a topic like that, change occurred, and it's an example of what is possible. I don't say should happen everywhere, but once you see the possibility, then you think about what might happen.
What's been the best part of writing this book for you?
I think the reaction. I've gotten very fine reactions, really, both in England and in the United States, and from a number of people involved in parish work. In fact, someone said every parish ought to have a copy of it, but I don't. That's too much to hope. But I know some pastors have really said this is a refreshing breeze to know how change has happened in the church.
Well, I'll certainly add it to my parish library. This is the University of Notre Dame Press is publishing a book, A Church That Can and Cannot Change. As we're doing this interview, it may be more difficult to get a hold of the book, but please stay with it. It's worth it. Judge John Noonan of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, a good friend of Mosaic. We appreciate your taking time, sir, to be here. Any final counsel for our viewers on?
Well, I have no comment. The book speaks for itself, okay, as we say in the law.
That's good. A Church That Can and Cannot Change. 4 examples in religious freedom, in matrimony, in usury, and in slavery, and illustrating how our faith does change and grow. We're grateful to Judge Noonan. I'm Hugh Burroughs for Mosaic. We'll see you again next month. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.